TOA, Fit Body Forever, and Fit Body Bootcamp communities. What's up, everybody? I'm Robert Linkul, your Director of Education over at Fit Body Bootcamp and the owner of TOA, TrainingTheOlderAdult.com. That is Rooster outside, roosting away. The chickens are running about, and we are here today to talk to you about one of my favorite individuals in the fitness field right now. I love this guy. Sorry for the glitchy face. Let me progress him forward. Here we go. He is the sober bodybuilder. I don't know his actual name. I've been watching his content now for a couple of months. And this is a great clip on creatine. And he makes some amazing points and really kind of colors in quite well. I could just let it play for the full 2 minutes and you'd get really good information. But I also want to color in a little bit and just discuss a couple of the points as we go. So I'm going to play and pause and just kind of chime in here and there as we go along. But he does a great job. So let's listen in to some myths. He does a little fact or fiction, and we'll go from there.
Fact or fiction? You need to load creatine at 20 grams a day for at least the first week. Fiction. Taking 5 grams daily works just as well over time. They were marketing geniuses to get you to take more up front.
So that's accurate. I'm going to say between 1 and 5 grams. There's research to suggest just 1 gram a day for the average, smaller framed female is more than enough. I saw one research article specific to like 1 gram a day. They just mixed it in with their coffee or their tea or whatever. And for people over the age of 50, they weren't even exercising. They just took 1 gram of creatine every day and it helped their cognitive function, made them think more clearly, etc. They processed things, they recalled things more efficiently. It was solid. I thought it was a very good research project or research article. On top of that, there were then ones that went further with implementing resistance training into it, and it was even better. They recovered more quickly. They were able to push themselves harder. Their muscles and their joints felt better. 1 gram. So on average, ladies, 1 to 3 grams a day would probably be fine. Bigger framed individuals, I'd say 170 pounds or more. Most of the fellas out there, 5 grams a day, you're going to be good. Maybe you could go up to like 10. I take 10 grams. I take 5 in the morning and 5 in the afternoon, 10 grams every day. And I feel good with that. Everybody's a little bit different. Where the negative returns come in is when you start loading 20 to 25 grams a day, you start having problems on the other end, if you know what I mean. And that seems to be the biggest negative return to creatine use is you get the poops if you take too much of it. But outside of that, there really isn't a whole lot of negative return there. So yeah, you don't need to take a ton of it, but a little bit every day goes a long way.
It's hard on your kidneys. That is fiction. In perfectly healthy individuals, it's shown to have no harm to your kidneys.
Now, if you do have kidney damage, right? We have a client that has some kidney health concerns and such going on. Creatine is not for her, but for everybody else, if you just have normal functioning kidneys, totally fine.
Have to take creatine at a certain time of day. That is fiction. It just matters that you consistently take it.
You would want to take it, if I'm going to take 2 grams a day, continue to take 2 grams a day every day. Just ideally, if you took it at the same time every day, before workout, after workout, in the evening, in the morning, like whenever you take it would be fine. I think, don't quote me, but I think I saw some suggestions that if you took the creatine after you worked out, it had a little bit more of a return. I don't remember exactly. I'd have to look into that. But I think just consistently taking it every day is the most important part. You don't do it for 3 days, miss 2, take it for 3 or 4, miss another one. Like you need to take it every single day. And if it helps you to what's my morning routine? Every time I have my morning coffee or whatever, you throw your, 5 grams in or 3 grams in. Just try to make it consistent, I think would be just fine.
Take creatine on workout days. Also fiction. You take it every day for the saturation effect.
Yep.
Creatine is only safe for men to take. Completely false. No women. It's not a steroid. Trust me. Creatine is going to make...
Yeah, definitely not a steroid. It's not going to make you bulky. There's actually very few... Well, that's where he's going here next. I'll let him answer this one.
We hold water. That is fiction. Creatine pulls a small amount of water into the muscle belly, which is a good thing. If you look bloated, it's probably from your diet.
Yeah. And that's like if you're there's a myth that if you take creatine, you're going to bloat. Okay. If you have never taken creatine and then start taking 10 to 20 grams every day, you'll bloat. That'll happen. You'll definitely retain a lot of extra water. But if you keep taking that amount, your body's going to regulate. and you'll start to flush some of it, and you'll still retain some water in the belly of the muscle, which is what you want, because it's now allowing that musculature to have more nourishment in it by holding that water in there. It just helps it recover better. And that's kind of the purpose, right? That's kind of the point. But if you did like 5 grams or 3 grams over and over and over again, and then bumped it to 5 over and over again, months, and then you bumped it to 7 months, and eventually built up to 10 grams, you really wouldn't bloat. I think it's more to what he's saying. It's probably your diet. You're probably eating other things that are like really high in salt, or you're having a lot of dairy, and you have some lactose intolerance issues that you don't even know about, like stuff like that. There are things where, or it's just the amount of bulk of what you're having. I can have I love my fruity smoothie shakes. I put my protein in there, my creatine, and my collagen, and like all my supplements. I mix them all in there, my Vitagreens, all my stuff, and drink that up. But it's 64 ounces, and so my belly looks quite full after I have it. It's just full of good stuff, and so I look kind of bloated for probably an hour or so until all that digests and goes through. It might even just be that, So if people are really well hydrated, which is pretty rare, like most people are always in a little slight state of dehydration. If you're having hydration issues, when you do get a significant amount of fluid in you, your body can hang on to it really, really well, and you look and appear bloated. But people that are well hydrated, they don't really bloat all that much at all. You actually go to the restroom more, and you flush more, and it's actually easier to cut water off of you when or if you need to.
Creatine has been studied a lot. That is fact. It is the most studied performance supplement of all time.
So true.
It has been shown to be good for your brain health. That is a fact.
Absolutely. Tons of research on this, especially for the ladies, especially for people over 50.
New promising research on its benefits for cognitive function. Creatine is going to give you steroid-like results. That is fiction. You have to cycle off creatine. That is fiction.
Yeah, it's not going to give you steroid effects. It's literally just going to help you recover better from the workouts that you put yourself through. So if you just start taking creatine, but you don't resistance train, like your muscles aren't really going to change much. Tiny, slight appearance change in size, whereas your muscle will have some more water in it, like you said. Other than that, if you're not training, like if I just started feeding Dianabol into your system, right? Or Winstrol, if I just started injecting you with Winstrol, you didn't know it, but you weren't resistance training, like nothing would really happen. Your heart rate would be higher. That's about it, right? You got to train. You got to put in the work with the weights to have that response to where the body goes, ooh, I've got all this extra stuff that's going to help me recover and help me push harder. That's kind of the same idea with creatine. Like if you're going to take it, it's going to help you recover, but you got to do the good damage. You got to do the good tearing of your muscles to make them come back stronger. Creatine just helps you with that. So it's not a steroid effect, right? It's an aid, an assistance to help you in your recovery to be able to push harder, ultimately giving you some good results from your training, which is great.
You can take it continuously for long periods of time, completely safe and effectively. Creatine has been shown to get you jacked. That's a fact and a fiction. It only helps you through increased performance in the gym, and it will allow you to recover quicker, have more performance, and more hydration in the muscle, which will allow you to get bigger. If you guys have any questions on creatine, ask them in the caption below.
I got a question. Where do you buy your clothes at? Because I like that shirt. He's just a very well-built individual. And isn't it funny? Who was it that was saying that? I think it was The Rock. He was saying, when we're younger, all you do is lift weights because you want to get ladies' attention. And as you get bigger and more muscular, all you seem to do is get more fellas to notice how muscular you are. And I'll notice it too. We'll be out like the dads. We were all at tumble time yesterday with the kids, and they were doing their ninja class and all this. And they're dads where you're like the typical kind of dad bod guy, like a dad that doesn't train, right? And you see them and they kind of give you the like, hey, and I go, hey. And then you see another dad and he's filled out his shirt and his forearms are jacked and he's got calves. And you look at that guy and you're like, hey. And he looks at you and he goes, hey, right? And it's just this another little level of like another brother of iron, right? Another person that knows the pain of the work that you have put in to fill in that shirt, to fill in your thighs, to build that musculature. We know how much work that takes. And so there's a level of respect when you see that. But then when you see a dude like this, all the other guys are like, oh, wow. Like there's an Adonis among us, right? Like you're just like, damn, dude, that dude puts in work to look like that. Like, I don't care how much creatine you take or how much anything you take. That dude's putting in work. And if you watch the videos of him train, he's a monster. I'm just like, bro, that you put in the work, dude, and your body shows it. And so there's something to admire when you see someone that has nice musculature. It didn't just happen by accident. They don't just have good genes. They don't just like, oh, I tripped over a stick and fell into all these muscles and now they're stuck to me. Like that doesn't happen by accident. That's a bunch of hard work. A ton of it. Now, some of us are more genetically predisposed to build better musculature, but you still got to train. You don't just get muscles. You have to put in some kind of work. So when you see someone, you're like, look at her, those amazing thighs, whatever. Instead of that, just be like, those are amazing thighs. That girl put in a ton of work to get her legs to look like that. Like, be happy for her and tell her and tell him, dude, your shoulders are freaking awesome. Story for you the other day. Totally true story. I'm walking into the hospital to go I was picking up some meds and I was getting a test done. Nothing major. Walking in there and this guy walking out, he goes, hey, and I stopped thinking he's going to ask me for like directions. And he goes, you have really great calves, man. And I was like, thanks, buddy. And he goes, have a good day. And he walked away. And I was like, that was nice, but I also noticed as he walked away, I was like, dude's got no calves. So you could tell this is something on his radar. Like, man, I wish I had good calves. Oh, look at this guy and his calves. It made my day, made me feel really good. Now, the even better part of the story was later on when the lady thought I was having an allergic reaction. And I was like, why are you saying that? And she's like, your legs are all bumpy and swollen. And I was like, you just totally made my day with that one, right? She was like dead serious. They put some glue. Oh, I was in there to get my leg looked at. I cut my leg. And this guy had put glue on there. And she's like, are you having an allergic reaction to the glue? And I'm like, no, and why? And she goes, because your legs are all bumpy. Oh, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I was like, no, that's just me. So dumb, but it was great. Admire people that put in hard work and they have built a frame that is admirable. There's nothing wrong with telling them, dude, your calves look great or whatever it is. This guy is one of those guys I look at and I go, man, I'm going to work harder today because there's dudes like that running around out in the world. All right, team, have a lovely day. I hope you all enjoyed this and maybe aren't too worried about possibly putting creatine into your system. I take it daily. A lot of my clients do. It's all very, very good stuff. So start small, 1 gram a day. Check with your doctor first. Make sure you're able to take it and it's not going to cause you any harm. You don't have any kidney issues, anything like that going on. It's not going to intermix with any of your other medications. Just get a check first before you go on to it and then give her a go. I think you'll be just fine. All right, we'll talk to you later. Until then, continue to fight your good fight against sarcopenia, and we will talk to you soon. Take care.